Hey friends, this is your host, Jermaine Harrison, licensed mental health counselor, here for this Inimitable podcast. If you did not know what inimitable means, it means something that is so unique it is impossible to duplicate. AKA my black sheeps, my neurospicy individuals, the misunderstood or Mr. Understood, you know what I'm saying? Welcome to this pod. This is your safe space to be seen, heard, felt, and to be validated. Clock that T, boo. Well, welcome for another episode where we are going to talk about living in purpose, with purpose, on purpose, from overcoming breakups to living in your purpose to enduring life's storms, all the things, right? So I hope you enjoy me and the guests and the conversation that is happening. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. I'll see you soon. Bye. Hello, all near and far. Welcome to another podcast episode, but then also another panel discussion. We had one for the fellas. They did great. Love the guys. But now 'tis the ladies' turn. And I have some very close, amazing, hardworking boss ladies that I love oh so much. So I'm going to introduce them and then we're going to get into the conversation. So after I say your name, if you want to say anything else that I haven't said, feel free. But if not, we can just, say hey to the world. First up, she is a colleague of mine, good friend, good sis. She is a licensed marriage and family therapist, right? Hailing from the great state of Connecticut, but then she's now in Maryland or DC, that area. So, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Miss Asia. Anything to say? You just gonna say hey?
Sorry, my thing want to come off me. Hey, y'all. It is a pleasure to be here. I'm really honored and grateful that Jermaine has invited me here. And yeah, I'm excited to be on the panel with all of you lovely ladies. So excited. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. And next up, you've seen her face. She's been on the pod about 4 times already. She's an IT specialist, mental health advocate, my good friend, my neurospicy sis, Miss Tanya, and new mother of a cute little baby boy. He's so cute. Tanya.
Hey y'all, hey. So I'm so happy to be here to end off the year with y'all and to just give some neurospicy vibes. I'm here for it.
And she will. Next up, my mentee, probably the person I've known the longest on here. I've known her and I've seen her grow, and I'm so proud of her. She too is in the mental health field. She is in person? They're in home. In home. She does the work that a lot of us don't want to do by going into the homes and into the community. So we appreciate people like you. So without further ado, my mentee, my love, my little baby girl, Tasia.
Hi, guys. I'm just so honored to be here with all of you guys. And thank you again for inviting me back to the podcast.
Of course. Now, I don't know why her camera's not on, but my other mentee, Shayla, is another mental health advocate. She does a lot for the community. She is a person of strength and value. We appreciate her. We love her dearly. I don't know where she is, but anywho, we are going to shout out Shayla and hey, she'll come back. Anywho, moving on. The good pastor, she too has been here on the pod before, giving us some relationship advice because we need it. Because some of us are single.com, and it's ghetto. The dating is out. It's not. It's just not it sometimes. And she was dropping her pearls of wisdom. But Alexis is a teacher by day, a personal trainer by night, a preaching somebody on Sunday, a singing somebody Sunday through Saturday. So, my good sis and friend, Madame Alexis.
Hello, everyone. And another one. That's all I got to say. And another one. We're going to get some information and we're going to give some information. Most of all, it's another one.
Come on, DJ Callan. All right.
And
Shayla, we introduced
I heard your introduction, but I was like, I could see everybody. I'm like, and I showed myself. I don't know why I did that.
Oh, no.
But hello, everyone. Sorry. So happy to be here. I'm happy to be here. I'm excited for the conversation. To be present with like-minded people is a blessing. And that's it. I'm
Yes.
excited.
We appreciate you so much. So, again, ladies, thank you for coming on. I think this conversation is very much needed because a lot of women suffer from a lot of things. And sometimes, you know, especially as women of color, we're not given quote unquote permission to do a lot other than like be black and loud and ratchet twerking on somebody's son, you know? So, like, that's just not what we do. You know, there's so much more versatility that comes with being a woman of color. So we're going to talk about it and we're going to have conversations. We're going to talk about the glass ceiling effect. We're going to talk about the strong black woman because that got to go just in general. That narrative has never worked, but it definitely doesn't work anymore. So what we're going to start off with is just kind of like, what is your motivation to really keep showing up, you know, as a woman of color in the spaces that we are? So, like I said, a lot of these beautiful ladies are either in the mental health field or advocates for the mental health, spiritual health, physical health. We are very health enthused individuals over here. So, I'm going to start with Tanya. Like, what motivates you to keep showing up as a beautiful Black woman that you are in the space that you occupy?
What has me to show up? So, I mean, the long and short, I woke up.
Yeah.
I woke up. There's really nothing else I could say other than I woke up. I'm going to wake up every single day for the rest of this life and this body and this plane as a Black woman. And I hope that every plane and any time, you know, because I believe in all things, I hope that every time that I am signing on to that contract or going into the new form and reincarnating, that I am always a Black woman in every single form, because I love me. I love being a Black woman. I love our diversity. So I love our tenacity. I love our uniqueness. I love our, you know, our togetherness, because at the end of the day, I'm rooting for everybody Black. And as a Black woman, that's what gets me up every single day, is to continue to be the best that I can be, so that my daughters, when they're watching me, they know exactly what they need to do and how they need to do it, in order for the next generation.
Mm-hmm. That's good. Because when we wake up, we have work to do, ladies and gentlemen. And to be a Black woman is amazing, even though society doesn't make it quite easy. But it is amazing. Shayla, what saith you? How do we show up?
I have to take what she said, piggyback off. I woke up, I got breath in my body. And like the God says, let everything that has breath praise the Lord and to speak. And I wake up every day and I keep going, because I know that it's just not for me. It's for my younger generation, for my little sister. I don't have children yet, but I know it's for them. And I know that me waking up, I have a legacy to leave. I don't want them to be like, oh, she just was doing this. I want them to know, like, this is who their mother was. This is what their mother stand for. And it's just not for me. Like, we're on borrowed time. Like, this body, this is not my body. You know, this is God's body. So I have a duty to get up and do exactly what he's telling me to do. And that's for my people, the same color as me. And like she said, I love our uniqueness, but one thing I love is our boldness. Unapologetically, I'm going to be me, regardless how comfortable it makes people feel. Like, my skin, it makes people feel uncomfortable. My voice makes people feel uncomfortable. My boldness, because I'm comfortable in me, you know? But yeah, that's it.
No, yeah, that's good. Because a lot of us are shamed for our skin color, skin tone, skin, whether it's skinny skin, if it's fatter and thicker. It's just like, y'all, first of all, society is way too difficult to please all the time. I stopped trying to follow the trend, so I don't care much for it. But since you brought it in, the body, we do have a personal trainer in the building who's also spiritual and physical and mental health, all conscious and all beautiful things. So Miss Alexis, how do we, sorry, Mrs., she's married, y'all. How do you incorporate all of these health things into empowering other women of color to be, you know, the boldness that Shayla was talking about to show up in the spaces that they show up in?
Yeah, well, for me as a Black woman, and I share this with everyone. I don't just say this is only my tidbit. Like, this is our tidbit. I stand instead for everyone. Um, I have that mindset of my feet only fit in favor. That's the only place that my feet fits. And when I break down favor, they're like, well, what is favor? Well, it's not always fair, but favor does follow, and it kind of rests on those who are faithful to whatever life gives them, the good times, the bad times, the ups and the downs. So as a Black woman, because I know where my feet fit, as long as I'm faithful to that, it might be a little wavering, but as long as I'm faithful to that, I know that, again, we could bring it to the Bible. I can do all things through Christ, which strengthens me. Black and all, thick and all, skinny and all. I may come into that gym thinking that I'm weaker than the other person who's been lifting longer than me, but because I know where my feet fit, I'm gonna get it done.
Man.
So we can do all things. Like, that's another thing. That's just not for the Christian, or, you know, that doesn't go from the church to the world. That doesn't just come from Christ alone. Like, it was this thing. Like, it was a reason why that was written, for us to see, hear, and live by. Like, we literally can do all things. The white people can too. However, the Black women, who are like the minorities, we can really do all things. We just have to put our mind to it.
Yeah. My feet fit in favor, ma'am.
That's where my feet fit. They don't fit. No, they may not fit everywhere else, but in favor they do. It's not always fair, but it belongs to me. Just
child, listen, this size 10 and a half, baby, she finna fit in favor. You hear me? I love that. I like that. I saw Tanya writing stuff down. She's smart, because if you have a pen and paper, y'all better start writing.
Listen, I got my pen and paper from y'all too.
The gems that you are going to receive. Asia, being a mental health counselor, licensed, doing the work, doing the study, right? I don't know how many women of color that you encounter in the therapist room, but what is your encouragement or empowerment to them as they're going through the mental struggles that they have, but how to keep showing up as beautiful Black women?
Yeah, I mean, well, piggybacking off of what Alexa said, I mean, I'm about to put that on my screensaver and write that down and look at it every single day. Because, you know, it made me think of how much Black women have been up against, but even just how much our ancestors have experienced, right? And just how much our families and generation of Black women have experienced, right? And just like having to, this emotional, mental, and even physical labor that's been expected of us, right? Of society telling us that we're less than in all aspects, whether it's cognitively, socially, physically, right? All the different things. And just how much I think we've had a lot of unlearning to do, to say that that's not true, right? That I can give myself permission to say no. I don't have to be anyone's mule and bend over backwards to do labor for free. Yeah, and even just giving ourselves permission to be in our own lane, that we don't have to be like anybody else, right? That whatever God has for us is going to be for us. And we're called to that. And I think that's a hard part of, like, society tries to make us feel less than, and we have to fit in different boxes and try to be like everybody else, where it's like our lane was created for us, and whatever he has for us is going to be for us. And yeah, so I feel like there's a lot of empowerment through helping them unlearn a lot of the negative stereotypes, a lot of the negative messages that have been placed on us, whether that's through culture, through society, through our own family, through our own generational learning, whatever that is. And it starts there, you know, and just like knowing that it's okay to be yourself and be exactly who God called you to be, period.
Yeah. That's why we gave it the title, I give myself permission to, because sometimes as an oppressed and talked about people, we have to take our authority back. Now, this can go biblical or this can just go historical. Either way, sometimes we have enemies that take things from us. And we can keep allowing that to happen, but with the authority that is given to us, we got to take it back. And what Asia said, which is so powerful, we do have to unlearn toxic traits, toxic behaviors, toxic trends, intergenerational traumas. Like we have to unlearn these things that just keep us stuck and bound and in these places that we don't want to be, so that we can learn something new and learn our authority and our beauty and how to occupy our space. So our youngest one on the panel here, hey Dej, I think it was Shayla that said something about legacy. So thinking about the legacy that is being a Black female, how do you take that and either go and launch off of the shoulders of the ones before you, or just like continue the legacy? What saith you?
This is for me.
Yes, ma'am. Mm-hmm.
To be honest with you, I am the first in my family to do a lot. I'm the first one to buy a house, so the first homeowner. I'm a first college grad. So I feel like I just have to set the example. I mean, I don't have kids. I don't have anybody younger than me, but I have two older brothers who still look at me like a role model. You know what I mean? I still have friends who look at me and like, wow, you're really doing a lot. So for me, I don't even know if this is answering the question, but what keeps me showing up is to the little girl who's still trying to heal inside of me, right? And then for the other little girls who haven't found their voice. So that's why I keep showing up. And like I said, I'm just the first of many to do a lot of things. So I don't really know what the expectations is supposed to look like, what a lot of things are supposed to look like. So I'm just setting an example of for myself and for others that I'm around. Like, you know what I mean? That to just be real. I tell people all the time, I wouldn't change being Black for the world. And for some reason, I kind of like to be talked about. I don't care to be the minority. That doesn't bother me. You know what I'm saying? Like I am who I am, and I would not change who I am for the life of me. Like this is just like you said. This is the body that God gave us. This is the life that God gave us. Then we can handle it. And one, we're women, and two, we're Black. So three, we gonna do it. That's it.
I love that. First of all, y'all, that's my baby right there. But I love what she was saying about when you don't have the example. Because I get this all the time working with young people. Nobody modeled it before me. Okay. The way that y'all can model your life after Meg Thee Stallion and Cardi and Glorilla and all these other people is like you found an example somewhere. You weren't raised with that example, but you found it. In the same ways, you can find it somewhere else. So that's why community is so big and has been big amongst the Black community, because it's like, child, it takes a village. You hear me? I am the product of being raised by a village because my mama couldn't do it by herself. She was a single mother, right? So I'm just like grateful that we have the boldness and the excitement to be women. But you know, there are some things we have to endure in the workplace, at home, child just walking outside sometimes. So like, you know, what are the things that you have to, I'm going to throw this to Alexis first. What are the things you have to overcome or endure, right? Because we can be as prideful and excited and bold within ourselves, but then we walk into a world that may or may not be in our favor or may not like us. So what do we have to overcome just to be great women?
I feel like this can go so many ways. It can go the cliche or the kind of like obvious way. Like we have to overcome fear, you know, knowing that I feel like fear is just a word, right? We look at it and we say, you know, I'm afraid, I'm afraid, I'm afraid. But there are so many other things that we do without knowing that we were afraid to do it. My slogan for, you know, my fitness business is, you know, anything you put your mind to, you can do it. Like if you put your mind to doing a said thing and you forget about everybody else, that tunnel vision, we can do all things. And that's why when you came up with the I give myself permission to, the first thing that came to mind, forgetting about scripture, but just knowing, being a Black woman, the first thing that we must realize, we give ourselves permission to do all things. People place us in boxes. They you know, put a cap on us. They say, oh, how you gonna do that? Oh, you don't got the degree to do that. It's like me. I started a job and I did not start. I started to be a substitute and work with the deans, and I am now the 7th grade science teacher. And a lot of people was looking at me like, "You only been here for 3 months." I said, "I know, but I know where my feet fit. They
All
feet fit in
right.
favors." And I know who created me. And I think that's another thing. The last thing I'll say on that is remembering your creator. You could listen, you could believe Buddha created you, you can believe whoever, you could believe all gods created you, whoever your higher power or power is. You got to believe in that thing. As for me and my house, I believe in the Lord, and I believe in Jesus Christ, and I believe that he is the my creator. So he's the reason that I'm alive, I'm breathing, and that I have these things set in front of me that I can obtain and I can do. But fear is in the way because of what the world fixes us to say, this is the things that you're supposed to do, or this is what you are, I guess you can say, this is where you fit in. Like, I actually fit in wherever I can get in, actually. So, whatever I apply to, I can obtain it and I can sustain it just because I know who my creator is. And God is the end all be all. So if he made me, who are you to tell me that I can't do a said thing? You know, Looking at fear and saying, I don't even know you. Like, tell fear that you're not my friend. You can't sit with me. It's literally like calling, like, having that lashback at fear, like we have at these random people who don't know who you are. Like, look at them like they're fear and be like, yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. I can do it. And most of all, meditation, prayer, taking yourself out of settings. I know we all heard that little song, Silence the Noise in My Mind. There's a lot of noise in our mind. An idle mind is the devil's playground. He will play. He will play all day if you have nothing going on. So do something and know that whatever you do, you can be strong in that and you'll make it through. We are stronger than we think. I promise you. Even in the gym, y'all can do it.
I love that. Fear is a big one because
Yeah.
I know Asia can attest to this. Like 90% of the stuff that we be trying to overcome is really just made up right here. Like, whether it's actual facts or not, it's just the way we perceive a thing, the way that we understand the thing. That's really what be tripping us up. And this is why I enjoy the mental health field, is because our job is to like help people to rewire their brain and how they show up. Excuse this dog. She really thinks somebody's scared of her. She's just, nobody is. Anyway, Asia, can you piggyback on that? How we perceive and understand things in our head and how we can overcome that so that we can do all things.
Yeah, I was thinking, I definitely feel like, well, one, Jermaine led an amazing training last week on imposter syndrome. And I feel like as we're talking off here, it's so fitting, right? Like, I feel like there's, like, I was just telling her before we hopped on here, of like this fear that a lot of us encounter of like, okay, I want to put myself out there. I want to build a business, or I want to do speaking engagements, right? I want to, all the things that we want to do, said goal. But there's this fear, right? Of like, fear if I fail, or what if nobody buys the product, or what if I mess up when I speak, or what if, like, all these different things that we have learned. And it also makes me think of like, where did we get these messages from, right? And that's where I always come to where and who has told us that, one, we're not good enough, two, we're gonna fail, three, we're not smart enough. Like, all these different things that have got in the way of us being able to achieve the goals they want to achieve, but even getting in the way of some of the things that God has aligned for us to do. Like, he already called us to it, right? And it makes me think of one of my favorite characters in the Bible, a person in the Bible, not character, but is Jeremiah. And I resonate with it because he was young and God called him to do something. And he was like, me? I'm so young to do this? Like, God, you must be tripping. You need somebody else. Like, and he's like, no, I called you. And I'm gonna touch your mouth and give you the words to speak. Right. And so for me, that's something I battle with all the time, of like this fear of like, oh my gosh, what if I get it wrong? What if I say the wrong thing? People perceive me as too young. I started in this field when I was really young. They're going to think I don't know what I'm talking about. Fear, like all of these different, I think fear and expectations. I think that's the biggest We're talking about barriers to overcoming, to give ourselves permission to be great and do what we're called to do in terms of our purpose. Expectations, right? Moving through expectations and how to unlearn that. I think a huge part of it is understanding the root, right? Understanding the root of where it comes from, but also being able to talk back to it. Being able to talk back to whatever helps you to talk back to it. I know for me, like I have to oftentimes tell myself, like, God has not given me the spirit of fear. Like that's the verse I have to repeat to myself often. And like Nike, just do it anyway. Like I'm doing it even when my voice is shaking. I'm gonna do it even when my hands are sweaty. I'm gonna do it even when my heart is beating fast. And I'm gonna do it. And at the end of the day, like people, they get what they get from it. They receive something from it. They receive something from it. If not, it is what it is. I can't allow other people's expectations to keep me from doing what I was called to do. I think I've done that for way too long, and I think that stops now. So for me, that's what I want to be able to help other Black women feel and be liberated from.
Yeah, that's good. That's good, because I think with this fear thing and how we perceive, it's really about how we perceive self. You know, that's what I've learned in life as a therapist and just as a person. It's never really about the other person. Like if I think I'm inadequate, no matter where I put myself, people can say, "Oh my God, Jermaine, you're great." The imposter syndrome, right? You're great. You do this. You have all of these things. It's like, child, listen, if only y'all know the type of mental work I got to do just to walk out the door, yet alone be in a professional space, yet alone be a leader in the church or whatever. It's like, it takes a lot, you know? And so while we're talking about fear, you know, Miss Tanya, she has overcome a lot of fearful things in her life. And I just want to know, what little nuggets can you share, madam, about overcoming fear and stepping out and doing it anyway? Like Asia just said, just do it. You know, like where do you find the courage, the boldness to just kind of be fearful, but do it anyway?
Well, I mean, a couple things, right? So yes, I believe in all things because God made all these things.
Mm-hmm.
I do it in the fear. So, you know, do it in the fear anyway. Like everybody's saying, you just have to just go through the fear, because there was a, and this is piggybacking, right? Because it's like feeding off of everybody's words, and you're gonna think almost the same thing. Like, yeah, that's true. There was a time when you was fearful to walk. There was a time you was fearful to run and jump off. You know, here, I'm gonna tell you a real thing. In my 42 years of life, my fear was getting in water. There's nothing under the sun that would get me to go. And I've been on trips, and every trip I'm like, we're going on a catamaran. I'm like, I'll pray for you. I'll pray for everybody on the boat, but you're not getting me in that water. There's no way. I don't know what's living in there. It's actually a whole nother world. I'm not doing it. Mm-hmm. Well, this year for my 42nd birthday, I went to DR. And I was with my sister and my best friend and her sister, her daughter and one of her girlfriends. And my sister was like, let's go. And I was like, I'm not going nowhere. She was like, let's go. I was like, no, I don't want to. She's putting on the life jacket on me. I'm like, I don't want to do it. She said, why are you in fear? What's going to happen? I said, I'm going to drown. What do you mean? There's animals. There's things in that water that can eat me. And she said, so are you going to let your fear consume you forever? And I said, you're right. I got on the second floor of that boat and I jumped off.
Wow.
I jumped off. I hit the water. Boy, if that life jacket wasn't on, I probably would have went down. But I popped back up. And I popped back up and I said, God. And I cried in the water. My lashes done came off. My eyebrows was gone. And I got back out the boat and I jumped off 2 more times. I jumped off.
Wow.
And what I learned in that moment, I'm going to try not to cry, because this is the first time I'm actually talking about it in a group forum. Like, I've said it to my sister, I said it to my best friend, but I never said it to anybody else. So today is the first day that I'm like admitting it and just absorbing what God has done in my life. And it was the moment that I said, nobody has limited me but myself. I'm the reason why I believed I couldn't do something, because I can do all things because God is with me as I got off, as I hit the water, as I popped back up, as I cried in the water. He then sent one to hit the captain over and he was like, why are you crying? God is here with you. Like, just breathe. And I breathed. And I got back on the boat and I jumped off 2 more times. Then I looked at the magic that God created in that water and watched the fish under my feet. It was the most beautiful thing to actually say, I faced that fear. I let it go. I let go of something. So what I learned in that moment was to stop shrinking myself, to be comfortable in something that I should never have been uncomfortable in the first place.
That's good. If y'all don't preach on this here podcast, we love Jesus over here, clearly. And yeah, we celebrate you jumping off 3 times. Because sometimes when we do it the first time, it's like, oh, okay, that was cute. No, yeah, we did that. But when you have the courage to do it 2 more times, you said to yourself, like, listen here, fear. Like Alexis was saying, talk to it the way you would talk
backwards.
To
I didn't even look. I didn't even look where I was going. I was just like, and jumped off.
But you did it.
Now, I'm not saying I was gonna have that type of fear talk with water. I ain't got there yet, but I love that for you.
Listen, you did it. You did it for those who are fearful of water, and maybe, just maybe, after this here pod, they're gonna be like, I'm not gonna let this fear conquer me no longer. You know. So speaking of conquering fear, right? This whole strong Black woman archetype that has been thrown on us for like years, centuries even. And the whole point of that was that there's this assumption that because Black women are strong and resilient and can handle pain, they think that, oh, they're fine. Hence why they thought it was okay to use brown bodies to test pain levels and said, like, oh yeah, they're fine. They're fine. Oh, they don't need epidurals when they're pushing out a, excuse me. I mean, I haven't done that yet. But size of watermelons coming out of different size. And I heard sometimes your hip might break, something might break, and they have too much. Okay. I digress. But they have this assumption that Black women can carry these loads of pain, say nothing, and even if we feel it, like, oh, they're fine, they'll overcome it. And over the years, that has transferred into our professional life, our personal life, social expectations, to a point where emoting is no longer safe. Having a weakness is no longer safe. Like, being human just seems like, yeah, no, but you're Black, so you should be able to just be resilient and bounce back, right? So Dej, you know, baby girl been going through some things. What do you feel about that strong Black woman title? Do you accept it? Do you hate it? And how do you do it different?
To be honest with you guys, I hate labels. I really do. Just in general, I hate labels. But to be honest, I'm tired. Like, I don't, why do we gotta be the strong Black woman all the time? Like, that actually drains me. So something I've been speaking to my friend about is like, I love people in my life. And if you know me, then you know I go hard for everybody. I rock with everybody. But again, this Deja's strong type of thing, like it almost got me feeling like nobody loves me. So now I'm in a place where I'm feeling unlovable. I don't know if that really makes sense, but I can't be strong for everybody. I have to show up so much for people that it's like, if I do want to break down today, I don't know if I can do that because I got to be this strong Black woman. Do strong Black women not get to cry? Do they not get a break too? Like, is that what it is? Because then you show up for people, and you pour into people, and you got to be strong. You don't really got a lot of people to rely on. You don't got a lot of support. So now I'm just looked at as like strong, and that's why I'm like, I'm not good with labels, because all I am is a strong Black woman. But it can't be nothing else. Like, strong Black women get tired too. You know what I mean? So when do our break, or when does our break come? Not just for me, but you guys and everybody else. Like this perception of like, woman just got to be strong, or you shouldn't cry for this, or you shouldn't do this. Like, it almost got me feeling like I'm in a pickle now, because I don't know what to do. Am I allowed to break down for real? When my mouth can't move to pray, can I be weak? Or you gonna label me or something? You know what I mean? Like, I don't like labels. That's just a no for me. And no, I don't accept that. I'm sorry. Strong people need to have their weaknesses too. People who, the go-to person needs somebody to go to. And that's
Come
what I
on.
am. I'm the go-to person, and that's fine. I love that. If this is what God has called me to do, then so be it. If, and I say it all the time, if I'm only here to give love, then so be it. But I can't be strong all the time. No, I can't. And I don't want to act like I can be. I'm sorry. I don't.
Right. Girl, you spitting gems. You hear me? Because that is the unfortunate part about this label. It's like, first of all, what does the strength even mean? Like who and that's my problem with labels, is like, who is setting these definitions and these societal norms and standards that says this is what strong looks like? Because last I checked, even the strongest man in the world has a weakness, right? Superman, you know what I'm saying? They love him, but even he has a kryptonite. So if it's okay, not throwing shade to anybody, but if it's okay for this white man, who's obviously not real, but like if he can have a weakness, and that's fine, but why can't we? So Shayla, hey girl, can you speak to that about this whole strength in overcoming, and whether you accept that strong label or not?
I have to piggyback off what they just said. I used to be that strong friend until I started realizing that the strong friend needed someone to lean on as well too. But then it takes me back to in the Bible when he tells you to be around those that are like-minded like you, that are believers, because when I'm down, I don't want you to be talking about me on the side. I want you to be praying for me. And I learned that within these last 2 years when I had to remove myself, when God like literally knocked at the door and pulled me from the people that I was so comfortable with. And not saying that they're bad people, because those are my friends, but in every season, everybody can't go with you. And I had to swallow that with a hard pill, because if I didn't, then I'll still be in the same position that I was before. And maybe physically, people may think that I have not changed, but inside and mentally, I have changed because I have removed myself from where I thought that I was just consumed, like that was the only thing that I was worth. So now I have a strength and I'm okay with, and I give myself permission today. Like, I'm not strong. Today I am feeling that I just want to stay in the bed. Today I do feel like I want to be lazy. And I have to tell myself that too, because sometimes like I'd be like, all right, God, I got to do all these things. And then I get two of those things done. And then I beat on myself for not getting the rest. And in that moment, I have to remind myself, like, I did make some progress, and it's okay that I didn't do everything that I put my mind out to, but I did tackle what I needed to tackle in that moment. And my strength is me saying that I'm not okay. Like, when I'm not okay, it's okay not to be okay. And that simply means telling the people that I'm around that I'm not okay. I need to take a break. I need to breathe. I gave myself permission to just breathe and just to be. Like, and I just had to do that recently last week. Like, it was my son's anniversary passing, and I literally wrote in my poetry because God told me to start writing again. And I wrote in my journal and I said, like, today I give myself just to breathe. I give myself just to sit. I give myself just to tell you that, no, I cannot listen to your problems today. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because that's one thing that being the strong friend, people don't ask. As soon as they get on your phone, it's a, hey, girl, I got this to tell you. And it's like, did you even ask me if I have the mental capacity to take in what you got to tell me?
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? Because I'm already processing my stuff. But when people see you with the armor of strength, that God gave me the strength. God gave me the strength because I know that it's for other people. It's not just for the people that just want to take. It's for the people that actually need it and going to take it and do something with it. And that's something I had to learn as well. Like, yeah, God did make me strong, but not just for everybody. Not just for people just to pull out from me and not give me nothing back. Like, I should be feeling that. Like, when I leave you, even if we are both, all five of us are sitting on the couch crying, I should still leave liberated, still energized. We may still all feel like we're still a little down, but we do feel like we're empowered. We do feel like we came out of this for something. We got to cry together. You didn't just listen to me and over talk me. You listened to me, you understood me, you sat there in silence. And then one thing I did learn in my strength is sometimes people don't ask you when you're going through something like, do you need me to say anything or do you need me just to listen? And that's something that I had to learn as well too. Like, that's part of my strength too. Not every time I'm calling Jermaine or calling, Alexis or Tanya, I gotta ask Tanya, all right, you will need me to listen or you just need me to just sit here and just hear you. And I used to have a problem with that because I felt like I didn't have, like, my voice was like too much. Like the voices, like she was saying before, like silence the noise in your mind, silence the negative voices, because sometimes growing up, I used to fear kept me back from a lot because I used to hear, oh, you talk a lot, or you this, or you that. So that used to kind of make me fearful to say the things that I need to say, that I felt that was worth hearing. So God told me, like, I gave you that voice for a reason. Like, I know the anointing that you have in your life. So now, like, I give my permission to not explain myself to nobody no more. I don't care who you are. You could be the job. I'm not explaining myself. If I can't do this, I can't do this. If I need to say something and it's because you're not in the mental space to receive it, I'm still going to tell you. And I'm going to tell you with love, but it's up to you to accept it. This is just what God gave me, my voice, gave me my boldness to talk. Whether people think I'm talking too much or not, like, it's going to fall on one ear out of the 20. And then, So, yeah.
Y'all talking real good, because something you just said, I mean, you said a lot of amazing things, but again, maybe it's because I'm a therapist. Child, I listen to problems all day. And for some reason, people seem to think like I want to do this like all day long. And I said, excuse me. I just had 5 sessions today and tried to help people unpack that. Babes, love you, but at 9 p.m. Now, here's the thing, right? Because you did talk about God. Now, God, when he needs you to do something, he'll give you the strength to do it. And there are times when just check. Just give me a nice little heads up, like, hey, I'm having a moment, might drop a lot on you, just to make sure that I'm
ready to receive it. Yes.
Because, and you're right, nobody, that meme that said check on your strong friends, and people still don't seem to do it. And like, they created 9 million memes about checking on your strong friends and don't know by check on the strong friends. The friends that carry things in silence, the friends that you can visibly see is going through, but you're just like, oh, they're high. They gonna figure it out. And it's like, so wait a minute. Y'all tripping over spilled milk. And I got to make room for that. But, Shayla just said the anniversary of her son. It's like, are you going to make space for that? Because that's big. That's big.
Yeah.
Now, who's making space for that, though? Who's making space for when we aren't strong in that moment? And the Bible does talk about bearing up, the wounds of other people and the burdens of other people if you are the strong one. Which means I don't have to be strong all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's scriptures that talk about things are better in 2, because when one falls, the other one can go get it. When one's weak, the other one can pick up, right? And it's like, unfortunately, I don't know how many strong friends have strong friends. Or we're going to use strong because Black women hate that word. In case you haven't learned by anything anybody said, do not. Warning. Do not use that word describing somebody. Use resilient, use magical. I don't know. Just don't say
and
strong.
That word like a normal word now, like strong. And I I asked somebody recently, like, what does that mean? No, like literally, what does it mean?
I don't know.
Because we all go through the same trials. Is because I showed up, I preserved different than you, or is it because during my struggles I still showed up for you, and you'll have something minor than me but won't show up for me? Like, it's like, and I have to really like sit there and kind of like cross my T's and dot my I's, and like I literally still to this day I think, and I'm like, is it because I showed up for every time, even during the midst of my problems? But that's just my strength that God has gave me. But again, I still give myself permission to say that I'm not strong, and you should take that and you should show up for me. Take the and just say, let's show up Jermaine's house. She got silent. Oh, not she got silent. Like those are the things that you have to really pay attention to in your friendships, in your people, your workplace. And that's something that I have to be more attentional. I've always been like that, but I'm more intentional to the ones that don't say much is the ones that you do need to be checking for. You know what I mean? So
that's good. I second that. If we were somewhere, I second that, because strong people learn to carry things in silence. And so will you always hear, hey, y'all, I'm struggling? No, but this is why we have to pay attention. I was saying this not too long ago. I was given a platform to speak. And I said something that we as, it was a church thing, but we as church folk, we worship together. We see each other every Sunday and maybe sometime in between. But we don't know each other to a point where I can see that you're hurting and I want to be there. And even if you don't tell me, I'm going to be here and say like, hey, I know you're hurting. I know it's a struggle, but I'm here. And I'm going to keep telling you that maybe one time you're going to be like, you know what? You're right. I don't want to carry this by myself anymore. But Alexis said she was always going to be there. So let me check in. Remember, we're checking in. Check in and say like, hey, Lex, I'm struggling. Do you have the capacity, the space, the energy, whatever word you want to use, to be able to listen to this and help me process whatever it is I have to process? But I definitely wanted to touch upon that silenced part, right? So I'm going to throw it to my fellow licensee, Asia. So like when you think about how much silenced pain that Black people in general carry, but especially Black women carry, how do we, like Shayla was talking about, finding her voice, how do we, not just as clinicians now, but as people, as women, as a community, how do we help people find their voice and give them the courage to say you don't have to sit in silence anymore? So what would that look like?
Yeah, I mean, I think, one of the things for me, especially when we're talking about being strong, right? It's like, it's not only a label that's placed on us, but it's also like we don't have many spaces to not be strong, right? To let it all out, to be able to have softness and have people, like we talked about, like the therapist needs a therapist, right? The holder needs to be held, right? Like the strong person needs to have support. And I think that's a huge piece too of like, I think sometimes when people say that, there's like this almost like a connotation to it of like, oh, you'll be good, you're strong, you can take it all, you can, all these different things, where it's just like, I'm also human though. I'm very much human. I feel, I hurt, I have pain, I have experiences, like life be lifing for me too, And so I think that's the thing that's forgotten about. And it's also who is it benefiting for me to neglect and abandon my needs just to always take care of other people? Right. I think that's what happens. And that's also what's been placed on us for generations on generations on generations. Right. It's just been this expectation that, oh, Black women are going to do it all, be it all. They're going to figure it out all. They're going to raise people kids. They're going to do this. Right. That's been our generational thing culturally, that Black women have done everything. And there's been so much labor that has been placed on us. And I have just been loving to see this generation and, of our Black women of being able to say, you know what? No, I don't want to, because I don't want to. And I don't have to explain myself. Giving ourselves permission to say no, I think that's the biggest thing, right? Like, how do we kind of like get away from this label and be able to like be our authentic self, is giving ourselves permission to say no, right? And I know one thing for me, a struggle has been my own internalized view of myself and what that like strength looks like. I know for me, sometimes I had a difficulty asking for help. I had difficulty receiving help, because maybe growing up a little bit, it was like, if you asked for help, you got in trouble, you got punished, you got scolded, you got criticized. So I started to internalize that helping or seeking help was a sign of weakness, right? That's kind of and I had to realize that about myself, of like, it's okay to ask for help, right? It's okay to have a soft place to land. Like, I deserve that. And that doesn't say anything less about me, right? That we all need help. And so I don't know if I'm answering your question, girl, but pretty much, I think for me, one part that's helped. And even when we talk about work with clients, I think it's really helping them be able to start to unlearn Like a lot of the things that has kept many of us stuck in this label, but also in these boxes that the world, culture, everything has created for us, to make it continue to do this unpaid labor and mental gymnastics that we have to do. So my thing is permission to say no, permission to have boundaries. Like boundaries is the word. If my phone shuts off at 8:30, I'm sorry, I don't have the capacity to listen to anybody else's problems. I've been listening to problems all day. I am a therapist, but I'm not your therapist. So those are boundaries. And I had to get away from people pleasing and feeling like, dang, if I don't listen to them or if I don't do this, then they're not going to be my friend. You know, all the different things that we've had to acquiesce other people's needs out of fear that they're going to leave, right? And sometimes it's like, yeah, like Tanya, no is a full sentence. Absolutely. So yeah, so that's really been the main things that I've lived with and that have helped me to be able to liberate myself from that.
Yes. Give yourself permission to say no. You know, the amount of guilt and shame that women carry when they set up boundaries, when they say no, when they make themselves unavailable to things. I'm like, first of all, in the mental health field, there's a lady who panned this thing like take the cape off. And I like that because don't by no means think just because I'm a therapist and a minister, baby girl got it all together. Because I don't. There's a reason why Jesus did what he did. I need Jesus every day, all the time, because it's hard. It is hard to be human. It is hard to be in this body. It is hard to make it through the day because the weight that we do carry, it often does go silent. And when you are deemed a strong one, and again, we're not using that word anymore. Don't do it. Don't label another Black person strong. Don't do it. But like if you think that someone, because of education, because of degrees, because of leadership, because of whatever, like Asia said, we are human first. We are humans that operate with all of these different hats, but we are humans. Do not dismiss my humanity.
You do.
Because you think I can do something. Don't dismiss it. Okay, so set up the boundaries. And like Tanya said, no is a full sentence. No, period, exclamation point, no semicolon, no comma. That's it. It's just no, you know. So you guys are already saying what you give yourself permission to do, right? But I think, you know, we talked about I give myself permission to say no. Shayla said I give myself permission to rest. I give myself permission to no longer fear. I give myself permission to not be the strong one all the time. Mm-hmm. So we're going to go around the table so everyone's going to answer. Outside of the things that have already been said, you know, what do you give yourself permission to do? So, Dej, what do you give yourself permission to do?
Girl, I knew you was gonna start with me.
You're welcome.
Honestly, it might seem so simple, but I really want to give myself permission to love myself the way I love on other people, to pour into me. I give myself permission to pour into myself, you know, the way that I pour into other people. So that you can't hear me, you said?
No, that's good.
Oh,
We hear you.
I'm sorry. So that might be simple, but this year has just been a lot, like a lot. And there's still so much that I'm trying to process, but I feel like this year has been lonely in a way, like, but I'm growing in a way. So whatever is happening needs to keep happening. But the more I tap into me and my inner child and my roots and what hurts me, the more I love the woman that I'm becoming. So I give myself permission for those boundaries, and I give myself permission to stop being a people pleaser and to say no and leave it at that. Because I feel like I gotta explain myself because I'm like, I don't want you to think I'm rude and this and that. But I just give myself permission to let go of perceived notions of me, perceived thoughts, whatever it may be. I just give myself permission to love me.
Listen, don't think that was a simple statement you just made.
Oh, that was right.
That is complex of what you just said.
Yes,
Because
that's a
again,
big
we
one.
are caregivers, we are mothers, we are friends, we are sisters, we are daughters, we are compassionate individuals that give and give and give. Okay. So there's nothing simplistic about what you said. Love yourself. the way that you are loving other people. That's a good thing to give yourself permission for. Alexis, what do you give yourself permission for?
Listen, I give myself permission to go on break. Okay. I think this new thing, and I literally take this from, it's Matthew 11:28 in the Bible. Come unto me, all of you, all of those Black women who are weary and burdened. And what does he end that verse with? He says, and I will give you rest. He's given us the room and the permission to go on break. So I think as a pastor, as like you said, a sister, a daughter, the trainer, then the teacher, like they'd be like, oh, you're gonna do lunch reflections with the students? Not today. I have a break. We can reflect after school on their time, but not on mine. And a lot of teachers can't really get with my reasoning for that because this is my lunch. They're like, well, you're a teacher, during teaching periods.
Yeah.
There's 1 through 6. But on my break, I'm going on break. But it's same in that natural. I really do take it as the spiritual aspect because a lot of people, they'll learn, a group of coworkers learned that I was a pastor and they're like, huh? Like when you think of a pastor, you think they're pastoring all day. Like, no, there's a moment where my mind comes off of helping people, where it comes off of praying for people. Because I pray for you, but it's not all day long. Like sometime within that day, I'm actually thinking about my own stuff I got going on. I'm thinking about what I'm gonna cook for my husband. I'm thinking about what he gonna say about the money I spent. I got things to think about. You know what I mean? So I give myself permission to go on break, and I share that with all of you, all those who are watching, all those who are on here. From today, go on the break. When you get that rest, I know that day off, you like, I'm gonna get so much done. No. Don't do nothing because you're gonna find yourself doing things for other people that you weren't even supposed to be doing on the break. That's why I don't take my break in the office. I'm going in my car. I'm going in my car on my break. I'm going to my church, maybe just walking around, smelling the church. Like, hello, I'm here. Just go on break, please, ladies.
Yes.
If there's fellows watching, y'all go on break. Black people, take a break, okay? We've been working all these years.
Come on. It's still working.
Ancestors and all, right?
Doggone it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, fun story. I literally spent the past 2 weeks like ripping and running between school, between getting ready for that training that Asia mentioned before. And I had 2 Bible studies to prepare for. And I was ending a class at the same time. When I say homegirl barely ate and slept those past 2 weeks. And here I am in a very low activity week. And my brain is like, okay, but we got stuff to do. I said, shush your face because I am tired. I'm hungry, first of all, because I didn't really eat. And I'm tired. And I'm going to listen to that part because I deserve a break. And I know, there's always something on the to-do list. There's always something that can be done. You're absolutely right. But I will not put myself in front of their computer or whatever it is until I rest. I can do that the week after Christmas or whatever. But as for me in this week, we shall rest. Unapologetically, on purpose. So yes, thank you, Alexis, for sharing that. Tanya, what do you give yourself permission to do? You're still muted.
I got to maneuver because it's still acting funny. So I have 2 things that because my New Year's here. So anytime it's my birthday, that's my New Year. Not whatever the calendar year, that's not my New Year. My birthday is my New Year. And so, I ended last year with, I was becoming a new mother, becoming a full-on businesswoman, becoming a non-people pleaser, becoming happy in Tanya, like loving on Tanya, fully knowing that person. And so This year, I am walking into two things. One is being secure in who I am. This is the first time in my life I am secure in who Tanya is.
That's good.
I don't care about a thought, anybody else's thoughts. I don't care about your thoughts. I care about my thoughts. I don't care about how you perceive me. How do I perceive me? I don't care about your expectations. What are my expectations? Like, it's not about the other person anymore. It's truly, for the first time in my life, what do I want? What is my goals? What are my dreams? What are my aspirations? What are the things that the young Tanya, the teenage Tanya, the young adult Tanya, the Tanya that was consumed with everybody and everything else, what does she actually want to do? And I'm living all those things out now, which brings me to the second thing, is to be able to live a life of luxury. And when I say luxury, I am not talking about the materialistic things. I mean the luxury of my career, the luxury of my marriage, the luxury of my friendships, the luxury of reciprocal relationships, no matter what relationship it is, the luxury of, you know what? I am going to leave. I'm going on vacation by myself. Again and again. I'm going to live a life of luxury. And that's where I'm at now. Like, I don't want to be in any other kind of way. And it's luxury of all of those things combined that's going to make sure that this next year of my life is engulfed in being secure in who I am. So I give myself permission to be secure in myself, to love myself even that much more, and to live a life of luxury. And nothing's stopping me. So I'm hoping that other people hop on board to be living a life of luxury. Whatever that luxury is to them, I want you to live it, you know, man and woman, but rooting for everybody Black to do it.
Amen. Luxury. We love that, because I think the shame and the guilt is heavy for Black women. And we seem to think like, oh, I shouldn't spend money on this because I have all of these bills, or I got all of these things. And it's like, so you work your tail to the bone, you hear me? And you think you don't deserve to have luxurious things. You know, I have great friends and they remind me all the time, like, girl, you work way too hard not to enjoy stuff. I said, no, you're right. You're right. I'm kind of broke to be enjoying stuff, but like, I'm never broke. Financially unstable sometimes, but never broke, because I serve a God.
In between blessings. I'm never broke. I'm just in between blessings. Something's coming on the way. But I'm not
right in between. Right. We about 50% on either side. Yeah. But I like that. Give yourself permission to do the luxurious things and to become. That's great. Shayla, what do you give yourself permission?
No, to be secure in who you are. Secure in who you are.
Lo siento, secure. Yes.
Yeah. So I like piggyback off what everyone said, but what Tanya said is that's like where I am now. Like, I'm finally secure in who I am, because between 2020 and now, after losing my son, I had to like re-find who Shayla was, like my true identity, and that stand within Christ. And the more that I seek and put my eyes on God, the more that everybody else's voice goes silent, the more everybody's expectations, everything is off. Like, all the nature that I was holding on from everybody's expectations, everybody's negative words that ever spoken in my life, that kept like a creep voice in the back of my head when I go to start to do things. And then I hear that voice when you're 13, your cousin telling you like, oh, you'll never be nothing. Your mother's on, like, you know, your mother's on drugs. And that creeps in when you start something. Know that God didn't put this vision in my head, on my heart, for no reason. I know that he gave that to me because he knows that I am capable to withhold it. It doesn't matter if it takes me 2 months, 2 days, what's longer to other people could be quick like that to God. So in this season, I give myself permission to not explain myself to nobody. Like, I don't I'm not explaining what's best for me. I'm going to and do exactly what God told me to do it, regardless if it's uncomfortable, scared, whether people talked about it. And when I do it, I'm not looking for anybody's validation. I'm not, because, like, society makes you feel like you were saying earlier, like you post something up and it's like, oh, this person didn't like it or these people didn't like it. It's like, I'm doing that because this is what God instructed me to do. The more I stop doing what God tells me to do, the longer I will wait. So what's worse, me fearing you or fearing God? Like, and that's just where I'm at in my life. And fear has cut me back from a lot of things. And I remember when I was like probably like freshly 30 or probably like 20, and I was sitting in the park in Cambridge with my uncle, and he literally told me, like, you know who you're supposed to be? A motivational speaker. Like, I've been telling you this since you've been young, right? That's where Shayla Speaks come from, because I put that, God gave me that, because everybody's talking about Shayla Always Speaks, but it's for your greater good. It's for a good cause. And he told me, like, it's what's worse, the fear of the unknown or fear of just sitting somewhere. And that always stuck with me since he said that. And I'm just giving myself permission to do all the things that I didn't do, that I'm doing now. And also, I'm not feeling like I'm behind. Like, there's a reason why it all didn't happen now and why I'm doing it and now in this moment. Because maybe I wasn't ready spiritually. I wasn't ready to withhold the capacity of what it takes. You know what I mean? Like, people think, like, I'm going to just keep bringing it back to spirituality. Like, people think being in God is easy, and, like, speaking of God, doing things that God's telling you to do. And it's like, no, like, you really got to have the capacity to hold it, because the turmoil that comes with it. I want to get up on a mic, or I want to get up on social media and talk, but now I got to deal with the negative voices. But I also got to remember his words in a place of those. So whenever those creep in, I do remind myself, like, whoever's in Christ is free indeed. So I'm free of whatever you're saying and focusing on what God is telling me to do. So in this season, I'm just giving my permission to not explain myself to nobody and not feel bad about it. Because sometimes you feel bad, like, oh, I got to explain. I'm going to say this because you said about being strong. And silence, I also noticed, like, my silence is strength. Don't get it confused, because sometimes in my silence, that's me protecting what I want to protect. This is my life. I share what I want to share. And sometimes we feel like we're forced to go share stuff because, oh yeah, we was up here one day and we did 5 weeks of whatever. And now we're taking a step back. So now we're thinking, like, oh, they're going to think that we was playing, we was fronting. And it's like, no, this is just what I want to do for me right now in this moment. Like, I want to rest. I want to do this in private, and then I'll share it in public. So my silence it's not a weakness. It's my strength as well.
Yeah.
I'm just giving myself permission to do me
Mm-hmm.
how I want to do me. And that's it.
I love that. So, in case anyone hasn't noticed by now, baby girl is bald. Now, I know everyone is used to seeing about 5 different styles from me. But a part of giving myself permission to do something, I give myself permission to remove the ceiling and remove the shame, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think I always put a cap on myself, because I'm like, Jermaine, you can't, because Jermaine, you got to remember that you're this thing. Jermaine, you can't be so offensive to all the... Let me tell y'all something. Like all of the lovely ladies have said, there is an expectation within self, because God is working on the inside, that we have to show up. And me showing up is, I have to do that in my authentic self, because that's what's true to me. That's who God called, is your authentic self, right? And I feel like there's so many... I love people. I love y'all. Anyone who knows, I love my people. But child, I got some judgmental, very opinionated people around me, and I have put a ceiling on a lot of things about me, because I'm like, oh, I don't want to ruffle any feathers, or I don't want to hear all the me. So I'm just not going to do things. And I'm just like, okay, y'all, someone said people pleasing. We can't keep doing that, because I'm hindering my progress for y'all. And I feel like it is a time, it is a season where the ceiling got to go. And I'm no longer going to shame myself. You know what I'm saying? If a bald head don't work on the pulpit, I'll get a wig. Okay, I'll just throw something on and call it a day, because it ain't that big to me. It's just hair. You know what I'm saying? So, I do have to carry myself a certain way. But also, no, and also, I can't keep shaming myself. Like I'm in therapy right now. And my therapist is like, girl, the way that you shame yourself just for being human is insane. I was like, what do you mean? She's like, you shame yourself for having the feelings you have. You shame yourself for even being traumatized. You shame yourself for responding to things that are triggers. You shame yourself for not being able to do the things that you want to do. And I said, well, dag, I do. Because again, that narrative, it stays with you.
Mhm.
You should be this because you're this. You're a believer. Therefore, you shouldn't have fear, right? You're a therapist. Therefore, you should have the right reactions and responses to things. You should be able to manage your emotions. What I should do is be black and me. And anything outside of that, I don't know what y'all want. I don't know what y'all want. Like, love Lex. I can't preach like her. Okay. But can we share a word and dissect the word and present it to the people? Yeah. I shouldn't be trying to do it her way. I should do it Jermaine's way.
Right.
Because that's what God gave me to do. I love Deja. She does amazing work. I can't do it like her. Same thing with Tanya. Same thing with Shayla. I can't do it like them. And for too long, we try to shift ourselves to do it people's way. And it's like, or a part of living authentically is accepting all parts of you and doing that. And so sounds like we're all in agreement. We're going to give ourselves permission to be exactly who we are supposed to be because the time is now,
No.
not yesterday, because maybe we weren't ready. Maybe we weren't, but today and beyond, I'm going to give myself permission
No.
to do things and be exactly who I need to be. So as we are almost done, we're almost there, not quite done yet. Now that we talked about what we give ourselves permission to, and I talked about removing the ceiling, there's this thing out there that talks about the glass ceiling effect. It's more in corporate because this is proven. Statistics say that Black women, given the same job with the same credentials, still can make anywhere from $10,000 or more less because she is female and because she is Black. Now, that's what they call the glass ceiling. They give us, it's supposed to act as an illusion that says, no, y'all are successful. Y'all can be a CEO, but every Black CEO, female, still has to answer to some white man somewhere. So that's the glass ceiling effect. This facade of power that we really don't have. You know what I'm saying? So let's talk about breaking through the ceiling, y'all. Whether it's professionally, spiritually, emotionally, mentally, we're going to break through the ceiling. I'm going to throw this to Tanya first. And then since it's the four of us, we're going to share it. So how are we going to bust through that ceiling?
How do we trust? I had a feeling you was gonna get me first.
Because you look
So my eyes went up. I'm like, okay, let me think about this. Let me think about this. How do we bust through the ceiling? We already are. Like, I feel like that's a yes, and right. I feel like we don't give ourselves enough credit, and the only way that our credit is validated is if we're not getting this type of help from people that are helpful. And in all reality, if they're there, God put them there, and I'm going to use you however God seemed fit for me to use you. So if you are going to, white man, bust me through through this invisible glass ceiling, then let's go ahead and bust through. And then after I'm done, I'm going to kick off of you and fly further because I done used you as my rocket launcher and keep going. So I'm not going to, thank you for helping me to reach this new level. And then once I hit that level, I'm just going to, I guess that sounds bad to say it in that kind of way, but I'm going to use everybody that I need to use in the most loving way but I'm going to use it to whatever advantage I, as a Black woman, need to use it. Because guess what? Y'all been using my ancestors for years, decades, centuries, God damn it. And the Haitian in me, like I said, I mean, we chopped them up and chopped them out. So that's in my blood. So, helicopter, I'm going to fly with you and then continue on. I don't believe in a glass ceiling. Like that to me is limited. It limits you, and it puts you inside of this box that's saying you can only reach this because you are a Black woman. Well, guess what? I am a Black woman, and we are the most educated. We are the most successful. We are the most driven. We are the most resilient. We are. And yes, the word strong may hinder or make us feel like, oh, why they always got to call me the strong one? But you know what? I am strong, but I am also soft. I also identify myself as a newborn baby infant little girl that needs to be taken care of because I can't do anything on my own. But then I grew up. I grew up, and I can do all things because I'm, again, back to that helicopter rocket launcher statement. There is no ceiling. There's no ceiling. There is no such thing as a ceiling. God didn't make one for me. God didn't make one for you. God didn't make one for any Black woman. Therefore, we are
Limitless.
Come on. Liberation. Yes. We are free and free indeed. Alexis, what sayeth you? How do we bust through the ceiling?
Listen, I said, even me, I'm taking it all in because I think I've always lived my life. My father, who is my pastor, he's always been a leader. I've always looked to him for every, and God rest my mother's soul. My mom passed away in 2021. However, I always looked at my dad like, he's doing everything. I want to do everything too. And he always taught me, whenever you go into something new or into a room, you be a sponge. You don't go in there as if you do know everything, because as we know, the Bible says you don't want to cast your pearls before swine. And when we say in the world, you don't want to let your right hand know what your left hand's doing, or vice versa, all that stuff. There's never been a ceiling. There is one that the world has created, yes. But, we are all, and, we know this biblically and spiritually, we're helpers of one another. And this is not to say, oh, Black women, come on, be equal to white. No, now, I do believe, as a Black pastor, as a Black woman, there is just a different kind of strength and power and authority that God has given Black people because he knew himself the oppression, the rejection, the the negativity that we would endure and that we would experience. But we know the Bible also says, yea, though I walk through the valley, it's a shadow of death. It's not, it's not death. We're walking through a shadow of death, but the Bible tells us then on, fear no evil. I don't fear this evilness of the glass ceiling that you've created. And at the end of the day, if fear is the only thing that we can show up and be like, I'm just scared, then go ahead on and do it afraid. Do it. Do it and be scared.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, because God is the greatest power, ain't nobody greater than God, okay? He has all the power. So if he's the greatest power, and if he leads us and we're like, oh, we're going to follow God, we're going to look to him. If we're looking at him, he always is going to say go, especially if it's to break the glass ceiling. You know what I mean? And it's like, take the limits off of God's creation, which is who we are. Take the limits off of, because that's an insult. That's an insult to the one who we say is our savior. Oh, Christ alone, like he's the one in charge. But you trying to put a cap on something he created, aka me, aka you. Like how you putting a lid on what God said, I need an openness. It's time for this to be served. Why you closing the package? You supposed to open packages, not close them back up.
Come on.
But that's the problem. Spiritually, we do a lot of return to sender. God's like, no, I gave it to you. I gave it to you, and you just gonna do it, even trembling and all.
Do it.
You gonna have to shake your way, shake your way through that feeling. You might not be like the rocket, like she said, because some of us make it like they say, like I made it by the skin of my teeth, but I made it, child, by a thread. But
Yeah.
you made it.
You made it.
But you know, but you
But you
made it. We
made
don't
it.
give ourselves enough credit. You know, I really take it back to the positions that I've been in, you know, holding all types, and I'm talking about in the world as far as workforce, coming to where I am. Like a lot of people, and I get a lot of praise at work, but when I tell you, I may have one of my coworkers that's on here. I always tell her, I'm like, girl, this is not my strength. Because if it was my strength, I would have told myself, you failed science in school. Who are you to be teaching middle schoolers science?
Yeah.
But God says, I've given you, back to, she was talking about the prophet Jeremiah. They called him the weeping prophet. That's all he did was cry. Lord, it's not me. It's not me. You know, that's all we do is cry. We want to cry and we want somebody to bring us tissues. No, there's no tissues. Just go with it and know that there
He
is
got
no
it.
ceiling. That's
Right.
the, like, this is man created that ceiling. When
Thank
God created you, that's when the ceiling came off.
Came off. Whew.
That's good.
Come on now.
That's good. We don't close packages, we open them.
Yeah.
Gotta take the lid off. Yes, ma'am. Because that limiting, shrinking tendencies that we do, it's because we just kind of feel like, well, I don't want to ruffle feathers, and you're right, I may not actually be anything. And it's like, or I'm gonna choose to believe what God says about me because He knows. A lot of people don't know, but He knows. So if He knows all of the yucky, gucky, not so clean things about me, and He still said I am the
For me.
creme de la creme, why do I look at myself like I'm nobody? If
Right.
the Creator said, you are more than just somebody. You are somebody. Okay. And here I am, just like, I'm just a little irrelevant girl, just a little black girl from the hood.
He chose you and he said, I'm going to breathe some air into your lungs. That's
God.
enough.
Okay.
That's enough, because there's actually a few people that he chose to cut their breath off this morning, and it wasn't you. So, you know what I mean? I literally look at life as life and at death as death. Like, if I'm alive, there's a reason for it. It may be a struggle, life may life, but to whom much is given, much is going to be required. But we have to know when to go on break, when to give ourselves, permission to say no, permission to not explain ourselves to people. First of all, who are you? You ain't God. That's the only person I really answer to. Number one. See, the pastor is crazy too. Y'all don't know.
Okay.
Because I'd be like,
I know that's my like.
you thought I'm the pastor, but baby,
I'm still human. I'm still person.
it wasn't always a pastor. Okay. Hallelujah to God.
Hallelujah.
But God's faithful. That's
Yes,
it.
He
I love
is.
y'all.
And
Yes,
true
He
indeed.
is. Yes, He is.
Yes,
We haven't forgotten about you, Dej and Shayla. So we're definitely gonna pass it on to you guys. But as you guys are answering that, we're wrapping up soon. And at the end of every episode, I want to give y'all your last little tidbit, your last little gem, a little nugget to leave with people. So start to think about that when it comes to giving yourself permission, showing up as your authentic self, and occupying your space. Right? God gave me that for the training that I did last week. Occupy your space, and that thus overcoming imposter syndrome. But we all have a space. And child, I'm big this way and this way. I'm big. So I'm going to take up some space anyway. But then the energy that I have is also big. So I occupy a lot of space. And I realized that. And it's like, I used to try to shrink because I'm like, oh, I don't want to take up so much space. And I'm like, child, I didn't give this type. I may have been a part of the wideness of myself, but other than that, everything else I was created to be this way. So, I'm going to occupy my space unapologetically. Deja, breaking through the ceiling. What sayeth you? If there is a ceiling, because clearly Tanya and Alexa's like, child, ain't no ceiling. So, what do you say about
Um, I don't know. I feel like they made great points. But realistically, I feel like back to what we were saying, like for me, it's really like not like a where people think I should be. It's like a me versus me thing. Like you don't put me nowhere that I don't put myself. You get what I'm saying? Like you put me in whatever box you wanna put me in. But if I feel like I don't belong there, I don't fit there, baby, that's not where I'm going. And just like you, baby, I ain't no pastor. I'm saved, but I ain't that saved. Thank you. I'm not the one for real. So you know what I'm saying? Like you put me wherever you want to put me, but the only person I battle with daily is me. Like I don't know how to explain it. Like I don't argue with nobody. I'm not trying to be better than nobody. I'm not trying to show out for nobody. It's really a me versus me every day that I wake up. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what ceiling is supposed to be around here, but if God says I could do it, then baby I could do it, and I know it. You know what I'm saying? So there's so much that I have accomplished this year alone. I don't care what box people put me in. And you know what I'm saying? You can't tell everybody your goals or your journey because something that God had told me, you might have not seen that for me. You get what I'm saying? So
it?
you put me wherever you think I should go, that's for you. That's fine. But I know where I'm going and I know who I talk to daily. And again, it's just really a me versus me thing. So if I feel like, baby, if I feel like I could be the president, I feel like I could be you can't tell me nothing.
Come
You
on.
can't. Not about me. You know what I'm saying? So I put myself in whatever box I want to be in, or I create the ceiling. Like if there's no ceiling unless I create it for real. Like there's no blockage unless the blockage is my mind or my thoughts. Like it's not really about where someone else should think I should fit. So for me, it's just really it's always like a me versus me thing. The high expectations that it's because I set them for myself. It's not because people really like I'm not trying to compete with nobody but me. I'm just trying to be a better woman than the woman that I woke up today.
Mhm.
I just want to be a little bit better. So
Yeah.
for me, there ain't no ceiling here.
I love it. I love that for y'all because, child, I thought there was a whole ceiling for me. But y'all have inspired me to remember the ceiling don't exist. Go ahead, Shay.
Um, so when you said about the ceilings and I can't remember who said it, but about being like taking limits off, it just brought me back to my spiritual dad, my apostle. He preached about being limitless. Like, what do you mean you have a limit when God already fought everything for you? So for me, I don't have any ceiling, no, because I did live under a ceiling before. Today, no more ceiling. And unapologetically, I just, again, I'm only trying to be better than I was before I laid down and went to sleep and woke up this morning. I'm not here for anyone else. It's me versus me. And I don't really care about what you have to say. And sometimes people kind of play on that and kind of like bother you. So that's why I kind of like give myself like, I'm really like, I know myself. So if I feel like I'm getting too indulged and hearing talking to somebody and now it's starting to tilt my my mindset, my view on things, it's like, all right, you got to go. Like, you know what I mean? Like I'm at a point where like God tugs at my spirit. I don't care if it's my sister. You got to get cut off for a little bit because I know that I just have to refocus. And again, you got to like Alexa said, you got to keep your mind busy on the right things, because when your mind is idle, the devil does come and will have you in there thinking all these things that you already fought so hard to get away from. So for me, like I'm limitless. That's just what it is for me. And if you have the limits, that's on you. That's why also I learn now, like when God gives me an idea, God tells me as soon as he gives it, Shayla, be quiet. Because when I go to share it with somebody else, they're going to get their fears. And then that's going to give me the second guess. I'm like, wow, you are about to be 35. You know what I mean? Like, well, you didn't graduate yet with your degree, but yet you are a mental health advocate. And yet I do deserve to be in these rooms with these licensed social workers that have the degrees, but can't even meet a person where they're at, can't even understand because you never walked the life, that used to shy away from me a lot. Like, oh no, I don't belong in there. But now I'm getting in there now. I'm connecting with people and I'm being reminded like I'm meant to be here. There's a reason why God made me who I am. Like he sets us all apart for a reason. Like
Yeah.
we are different. We all don't look the same. The only thing that we have the same is a heart, 2 eyes, 2 ears, and we breathe. We all breathe the same. So I'm limitless. We ain't got no limits. What's that?
Come on. Well, since you have the mic, we're just gonna spit fire these last
Okay.
these last little nuggets, and then we're gonna wrap up and do the thing. So, Spitfire, go.
What was it?
The
Just
Spitfire, the last little nuggets to leave with people.
So I said this before on the podcast, when I was on Jimmy's podcast, and I just want people to know that there's life after your trauma, like literally. And I say that, and I stand true to that because I went through, God knows everything, and before I'll be like, God, why you make me go through this? But now I sit and I say, God, thank you for everything that you brought me through. If I had only one thing to change, it would be the decisions that I made when you were tugging me, but I felt to go this way because I wanted to do something that wanted to satisfy me emotionally in that moment. But I wouldn't change anything because it made me who I am today. And I just always remember that. I tell people this, and I tell some of my youth, like, where there's breath, there's life. Where there is life, there's purpose. So you have a purpose to do something. And again, like you were saying earlier, Jermaine, like the way that Alexis does it is not the way you do it. We all unique, and that's how we all come together, and we all make, a big spark. So that's just something I tell people. At the end of the day, there's life after your trauma. Like, don't think because you went through something that you're not worth it or you're not deserving of better, because you are. And I had to really put that for myself because look at me now. I'm sitting up on here on the podcast and this will never be so, and it's like at the end of the day, like Alexa was saying, like I could be in the church feeling like, oh, these but no, I know who I am. Like I know what my voice is. I know the spirit that I hold. I know the anointing in my life. I know the Holy Spirit that I have, that I've been filled with at a young age. And now God is bringing that out of me. So it's looking like this to people. And I learned now in church, I don't look like this. Like, I'm literally focused on God, and here I'm here. I don't care about who hears me. I don't care who's praying stronger than me in tongues. My tongues is still like I'm just here for me. So like just do everything for you. Be true to yourself. That's the only person that you need to be true to. You and God. No one else.
You and the Lord.
That's
Amen. There's life after trauma. Alexis, what saith you?
Go on break.
Come on, Pastor.
Listen, it's like go on break. And when I say that, it's like you cannot. I know they tell us, remain, wait, there's a reason for the pause, whatever. Like, know that it goes back to someone mentioned it. There's a reason why there's a breakdown lane that was created on the highway, right? Now, there's not a lot of times. There's not a lot of times that people really utilize the breakdown lane. Maybe there's a lot of people that text and drive. Like I feel like the breakdown lane spiritually, and I guess you can say like naturally, it should be used more spiritually. Like the breakdown lane is for that pause. If you're doing something wrong, by say of the cops, the coppers out there, they're gonna pull you over and they're gonna be like, all right, you gotta come to a stop. And I feel like that's the same thing God does for us. We're driving and we're just going and going, and we want to switch and do another thing, we go in another lane and we do that. And he's had his sirens on for a long time. And we just not pulling over. We just not pulling over. We just keep going and going. And of course, because we have that thing with comparison that Jonathan McReynolds we know said, comparison kills. It kills us. So then we think about that thing, fight or flight. Like it's not always a fight if we just go on break. Take a pause, give yourself room to breathe alone. You don't have to always be breathing around people. Like you can breathe by yourself. And you're not crazy when you talk things out and inward to yourself. I think sometimes it's better talking it outward. You know, And don't ignore the voices in your head, like while you're on break either. Like whatever you're hearing. And I feel like those voices that you do hear, as far as positive voices, not like you can't do it or you ain't strong enough or you ain't good enough. But when it's telling you like you can do this, like after this break, get back up. Like take that to God. God, I'm feeling that I can do this.
Yeah.
It's like God, I believe. There's a scripture. God, I believe, but there's a part of me that doesn't believe. So help that part that doesn't believe. Like
Mm.
we're always gonna have that part that doesn't believe. He knows that. Like he created us. He know you ain't gonna believe that he's gonna come through.
Yeah.
But that's why I pray. Like, okay, God, I really don't believe you gonna have me and my husband find this house by the few months that we literally have to find our house. But it's in the works. You see what I'm saying? We go on tour. We've been going on tours every weekend. We're closer. I think my realtor's watching. But God's gonna do it. I sent this to all of them. I said, listen, I got some things before the Lord. And if
Come on.
you believe him with me and for me, get on this line.
Yeah.
One of the people came in here. But yeah,
Mm.
go on break and be around people that believe these things for you and with you. And that, you just gotta be around all positivity. Yeah, and you can do it. You can do it
She said, I stand 10 toes down, take that break.
all the time. Like, please. Like,
Please, it's my birthday.
put me on do not disturb for you.
Ooh.
Okay? Like, I
Mm.
know we don't like to do not disturb, and I don't do it. I don't use it. I just don't answer. You don't have to be do not disturb. I'm just not gonna pick up my phone.
No,
You
seriously.
could be the Apostle Lincoln, right? Dad, I hope you're not watching. But it's like you just may not get it. I'll be like, Dad, I'll call you tomorrow in my head. But I do know that I'm not picking up the phone.
Yes.
So just take the break because you don't always want to be in a burnout season at the end of the year, which that's naturally where us black folk, we get to the end of the year and we like, oh, child, this year burnt me out.
Yeah.
Like, dang, is there ever a year when you ain't burnt? Because you ain't pulled over. It took a break.
That's good.
So I'm preaching to the choir though, because
Child, I was gonna say I felt that, Miss Ma'am.
no, because I'm doing the same thing.
Oh,
I'm off for the next 3 weeks, and I promise you, I ain't gonna. I don't know. Church, y'all see me on Sunday. I don't know about during the week.
well, I appreciate you making time right here because
Oh
all of-
yeah. Oh yeah. I'm gonna always make room for the real. Okay, I'm gonna always make room for the real because this is what matters.
yeah.
And sorry, we ain't supposed to be doing that, but shout out to the visionary because I know you said we supposed to do tidbits, but the tidbit is follow my sis Jermaine because
Hello.
yeah, she gonna get you right. She gonna and not only just because of your services, but also just your heart, like just for who you are and what you see in other people. I feel like you remind me of the big sister me, always seeing the greater good in people, no matter how much they put themselves down. And I tell you this all the time that God has so much more for you. I know you can't see it. We all don't see it. And I'm not saying it just to say it because that gets boring. Like, church told me God gonna make a way and the way still ain't made.
Right.
It's kind of like you gotta we have to do more of trusting than worrying about it. Like trust him when he can't be traced. And then I promise you out of nowhere it'll come. Just a fun fact, that's how my husband came, because baby, it was getting cold out here.
No, follow Jermaine. I be saying and follow my big sis. I just
Listen, follow Jermaine.
I be
She's
telling
done.
her. She's like my
Yeah,
little
and you're
heart.
connected to so many great people in this room. You know what I mean? Like you would never think. We're all different. We all have different, ideas and goals and visions and are operating in different walks of life. But one thing that we have in common is that although the world looks at us as we need to be strong and all this stuff, we agree, we make a consensus that we are human and that there are moments that we are weak, but we get back up and we're giving ourselves permission to do whatever it is that God has called us to be and do. So this room is meaningful because of who God created you to be. Now, I know we good people, but it's because God in you that we are even here to express. Forget about who I am. God says, who is she that created this space for you?
I'll be telling you.
Yes. So this is not just on purpose. Cliche, but it ain't on purpose. It's for purpose.
I told her
Something-
to get ready because she about to be hosting like her podcast about to be like a sit down real soon in a room.
And I told you.
And
the
I've been
door
looking
is-
for sweets. Little do you know, because we gonna do it soon because you deserve it. That's it, and that's all.
Yes.
Well, before we start crying, Deja.
Cry.
I appreciate y'all. Deja, go for it. Tidbits.
Don't be trying to take away the light from yourself. You deserve that praise and you deserve that
Thank
compliment.
you.
You were just over here trying to shame yourself like your therapist told you not to do, girl.
Right,
Like,
thank
come on,
you,
let us
Deja.
clap for you. Let us
Right,
clap for
because we
you.
could skip the tidbits and get praise
Hello.
today.
And we could just give you your flowers because you deserve them and you're supposed to take them in. Like if you need to cry on the camera, cry on the camera. I'm crying too.
Right.
Cool.
And girl, you know I
gotta
got a
give
big old
yourself
house. If you need a little
credit.
sweet, just
Love
in
on you.
case, you let me know. I'll do something in the basement for you. It ain't nothing but a problem. Nothing.
Hello, at the highest level. We're ready to do it.
For me, I will say, just for everybody, I guess, first God, then you. Be selfish. That's okay. You don't owe nobody nothing. You don't owe nobody nothing. Boundaries, set that up. The rest that she's talking about, please take it. And let me tell y'all something. These jobs don't care about you. You die today, they finding somebody tomorrow. Please call out if you're sick. I hate when I gotta explain that I need a mental health day. Why I gotta explain that I'm not mentally okay right now? That's a problem for me, baby. We ain't doing that no more in 2026. You hear me? And then, like she said, your friendships, your relationships, you need to be secure, but not just in relationships platonically, but just being secure. And that's just something that I'm trying to work on, being secure within myself. You know, the more secure you are within yourself, the people around you ain't gonna fold. You know, I believe that reciprocation and that energy will come back. So something that I have learned this year, and I think one of you guys have mentioned it, but the company you keep is really important. And you guys are older than me, and I'm sure you know that. So there ain't nothing I'm teaching y'all, but this is just something that I've learned. You know what I mean? I mean, you could be so bright, but when you're around people that are dark, baby, that light gets dim, real dim. Okay, this year I've struggled.
Jesus.
Yes, I struggled this year so bad, and I've told people. So that's where you say, like, if you tell somebody you struggling and they sit in there, oh damn, can I get $5?
It be
I
cricket.
just told you I
Right,
want to
like-
kill myself. What are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I'm just this year, the year coming in, it's gonna be me. It's gonna be me. It's gonna be God. That's gonna be my bestie, my homie. Even if I'm sad, okay. Like yes, I go to church and all that, but the love that God gives you is not the love that you can receive in another human being. There is nobody greater than God, and I understand that. But be very careful about the company you keep, because even those who love you will put you down. Okay, they will take you down. So just like you were saying, whether it's your sister or your brother, your family, your husband, if you gotta put those boundaries, if it ain't sitting good in your heart, let it go. I don't care, let it go. You know what I'm saying? Pray on it, move on it, and then let it go. But I that's just something I learned this year. I mean, it was a tough year. It was a lot of lessons, but I'm like, you know what? There is nothing better than to love yourself. And when you love yourself, you see who really loves you. Because when you love yourself and you put those boundaries, those who love you respect it. Those who don't love you don't respect your boundaries. Me saying no to somebody shouldn't make you upset. You got every right to tell me no. You don't owe me nothing. You don't owe me nothing. So that's just it.
And they put you in a place on what you're going to receive, and you're like, this don't feel right. This ain't.
Yeah. And honestly,
first.
I reflect a lot though. You know what I'm saying? So even for myself, if I feel like I don't add nothing to your table, I'm removing myself, baby, because you deserve it.
Right.
You deserve that. I'm not one of those. I don't play in nobody's face. If I really feel like I can't add nothing, if you got the whole table set up and I can't even come with the napkins, baby, I'm not coming. I ain't coming.
That's good.
No.
I'm the
I like it. I like it. Tanya, take us home.
1 second.
All right. Well, saved me for last, but definitely not least.
Okay.
I will say this. Be secure in who you are.
Mhm.
The moment you are secure in who you are, it doesn't leave space for people to be able to move you. People can't move you when you're safe and secure in who you are. There's no more folding. You're not going to fold because you're concerned, and not in a way. Deja, I think you said selfish. I don't want you to be selfish. So this is directly to you. I don't want you to be selfish. I want you to be self-full. Be self-full. Because people always have this tendency to think like you can't think about yourself. You can't like just be consumed with yourself in that moment. So they want to tell you that you're being selfish. You're not being selfish. You're being self-full. You're filling yourself up. You're filling your cup. And when you're ready, put a spout on so that you control how much you give to other people. Because that's what I did. I put a spout on myself. I said, you know what? My cup is full. It's overflowing. And it's great that it's in the overflow. God's always going to overflow me. But I had a tendency to go and pour into people's cups that didn't deserve me to pour into them. And so I started to fill their cups. They had holes in it, and I'm still filling, and I'm filling, and I'm filling. Well, I'm like, why aren't they filled up? And then I'm becoming empty. So I started to let my overflow happen again. And then I said, you know what? I'm going to put a spout on me. And I put the spout on, and then I started to pour, but I'm always in an overflow. And I just pour into the people that deserve Tanya. And in the process of that, I became secure in who I am.
That's good.
I'm no longer searching for the things of other people that's going to satisfy me. I do have my regular conversations with God, and those conversations are really like, yo, big dog, what's going on? So listen, this is what I got to tell you. I already know that you know what's going on, but I'm about to tell you, and I might just give you a couple swears, and I hope that you understand, because this is where I am. I'm coming to you as I am, and please figure this out for me. Or just give me the cues, and he always does, every single time. And so just be secure in who you are and understand and know that you can live a life of luxury that doesn't have to be about the materialistic things of the world. It can just be the luxury of the life that God has given to you, and the things that he's moving in your life and moving out of your life and pushing to the side and putting in the brake lane, that's not for you. They're not for you. So you can keep moving forward. That's really it.
I love
Be
that.
secure in who you are.
Yeah, because we need that. All of these nuggets and reminders. So ladies, thank you for all of the nuggets, all of the gems, all of the pearls that were not thrown before swine. I thank you guys for being here. Anyone who has watched any episode of the Inimitable podcast, whether this is your first one or you're a returner, thank you. Appreciate y'all. So and this is our last one for 2025. We're going to start it up in 2026, and we're going to be great. This time we talked about purpose. Who knows what our next one's going to be? So stay tuned for more. With that being said, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, and all the things. Happy holidays to you and yours. Happy New Year's. Enjoy. Y'all be safe. And what you should do is you should spend it with Jesus heading into the new year. But I mean, do your own thing. I'm not trying to shame y'all and tell y'all what to do. I'm just saying it makes sense to spend it with the man who gave you breath, as someone was saying. So anywho, you can do what you need to do just as long as you're being safe. Thank y'all. We love y'all. Of course, there's announcements coming after this video, but share this, like, comment, subscribe, share with people who need to hear this conversation and other conversations. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Love you too.
Hello, beautiful people. Thank you for watching another episode of the Inimitable podcast. I hope that whatever you heard, saw, watched, that it definitely hit you. So, of course, at the end of every video, I love to have a little bit of announcements. I understand that, we are ending one year and we're about to head into another year. So I want to make sure that I let you guys know. Happy holidays, Happy New Year, depending on when you're seeing this. I really hope that something that is done on this Inimitable podcast will help you. So all of the flyers and the announcements that you will see following this message is stuff that I have coming up, and it does change depending on the season and what I'm doing. So you absolutely should stay tuned to watch for more. If you like what you saw, if you like what you heard, please share this podcast with friends, family, coworkers, churches, whoever. I am available to do some speaking engagements, other podcast episode appearances, retreats. You know, we're trying to get into that too, as well as I do have my books that are still out on Amazon. More are coming. I'm going to have some digital little cute drops of information that's coming as well. So stay tuned. All right. Check out my website at findachancecounseling.com for more information. And if you need me, I'm here. All right, guys. Enjoy. Bye.